Join us to learn how educators from Getayak, the Old Ones Education Society, We Hold the Future leadership group prepare students to attend Inspire's Soaring Indigenous Youth Empowerment event and the Inspire Awards and Gala. We will review a lesson used to introduce students to Inspire and Indigenous achievement. We will also discuss the positive impacts of engaging students in this event and Inspire. Participants will learn the benefits of Soaring Indigenous Youth Empowerment event, how to prepare students to attend and meaningfully engage, lessons to support student engagement. Our presenters are Elizabeth Betty Latondra. Betty is a traditional Cree Métis woman from the Papascho band and is a direct descendant of Papasteo. She grew up in the area northeast of Lac La Biche where her Cree parents, her first teachers, lived off the land in a traditional way. As a result of this traditional upbringing, Betty is grounded in her Cree Métis language and culture. She has been honored for many years to hold, share, and serve as a living model of ancestral sacred laws through her role as a Gateya elder. The wisdom and knowledge she carries has earned her the right to sit in the north direction along with the old ones. Also serving as a passionate advocate for children, Betty is active in community, sharing her vision of helping to build a just and safe society where all children, families, and community members are accepted, nurtured, and free of discrimination. A world where all people work together towards a shared vision of humanity. As well as a respected Gateya elder, mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, Betty works tirelessly with a host of different government bodies, municipal representatives, and community agencies in striving to improve the lives of families, youth, and children. Our co-presenter is Rhonda Metallic. She is a Mi'kmaq woman from Listigouche First Nation. She grew up in Listigouche, surrounded by family, until she moved to Treaty 6 territory, Edmonton, Alberta, over 15 years ago. She is an advocate for youth, children, and their families. She enjoys to connect the elders with the youth as they journey to discover who they are and their gifts. The purpose of these webinars is to share lessons, strategies, and successful practices to increase the success of Indigenous K to kindergarten to grade 12 students. Thank you for taking the time to view this webinar. We appreciate your interest and we welcome your suggestions and feedback. I'd also like to thank our funders, Indigenous and Northern Affairs Canada.
Thank you for the great introduction. Thank you for having us here. It's an honor to share about our students and the work we do with them and the work that they have done for themselves. So first, when we begin with our leadership program, we go to an overview of what will all entail throughout the year. And always the big one is the Inspire, the Soaring Inspire Youth Empowerment Gathering. And first of all, when they come into our program, of course we ask them to take ownership of themselves. So that's where this memorandum of understanding comes in. It's an agreement that they will follow through from September until June, the different things that are happening for us in leadership each week, and that they are, when we say they're leaders, that they are taking control of that leadership themselves. So we give the onus back to them. So I believe that this is a powerful, it may be just signing their names, but then they get to take it home to their parents and their parents sign it. So it's a commitment for them to leadership.
So in the Memorandum of Understanding, the students will read through the whole contract, we call it, together, and we hold them to it. So throughout the year, when we're meeting with them, we will actually take some time to go over the MOU with them and to remind them what they committed themselves to. So, and in there we'll talk about our meeting dates and what they committed to, I guess, the responsibilities.
When they do research on Indspire, the Soaring Youth Gathering, and of course the with our Inspire Awards Gala, all what Inspire does, they have to research and bring to us. What is Inspire? How did it begin? What is it today? So it's all about that research of knowing of where your goal is and setting a goal and where you'd like to go. And if it's Inspire, then you have to bring it to us. They have to bring it to us and tell us what it's all about.
And so we also do a letter of interest to attend Inspire. And so the students are selected based on attitude, attendance, and academics, the AAA, and they also write a letter and they do an interview. So they'll have an interview with the Miss Betty, the principal of the school, and we also invite somebody else in. The students, when we talk about academics, it's not necessarily all students that are on honor rolls, but it's students that are up to par, trying their best with their schoolwork and working hard every day to attend and do the best they can. Also, their, I guess, attitude or what they're doing, how they're showing respect with their education, with others in their community, that's important. And their attendance. Attendance is important. In the beginning, we had some students that would come to leadership, and sometimes they'd be missing in the school in the morning. And part of our thing was to talk about attendance and being at school first and foremost for them to attend our leadership program. The letter must be handwritten. It cannot be typed. It has to come from their heart, we tell them. They have to do some research and answer the question as to why they would like to attend Inspire and what they want to learn from it. So there's an example of a student's letter that we'd like to share, and these are addressed to Kikdayak or Miss Betty, and we have held the letters. We have letters going back to about 5 years ago from the students, and we save them, and once they graduate, we do give them back to the students.
Just going a little bit back onto attendance with our children, we never know what's going on with our families, their parents, where they're coming from. So with leadership and making, having other students help the other ones that are maybe having difficulties. Sometimes it's just maybe needing a bus pass to come to school on a regular basis. Just some simple little things like that. It's not just what you see here. It's not just that. It's more like, what would you do with your own child if you wanted to best for that child? To help them succeed. So that's what we've done.
The cost of the trip with the students, we have a completed cost breakdown. It's applied for the students, and this information is shared in a presentation outlining the cost per child. So we go over any in-kind, any sponsorship, and so that the students know it's not free, that nothing is free, that they may not see the people, but people are invested in their future and education. So we go down from our teachers, in-kind volunteering, what it costs for food, for flights, for insurance, baggage. We try to cover the meals, incidentals, and so that they know. And so this year we tallied it up to be $4,005 per student, $1,405 per student. And each student, when they read the grand total, and they cannot believe, because overall bring in 25 students, it comes up to about 30-some thousand, which is help with sponsors, many like working tirelessly with other people to invest in the students. And what we tell the students, we let them know that, so that they know that people believe in them. and that they may not meet them, but they're invested in them. And I think that it does something for them to realize that they have never met people and that they're being supported.
We love that breakdown because they even get a budget every day, how much meals cost and what their expenditures are for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if we were to have those three in a day. So they know the limit that they can order in a restaurant, and we all sit together in a restaurant. Nobody runs here and there, we all together. So we really are adamant about showing our students that this is what a family is all about and this is how we take care of one another.
At no time with the students, I know that they are always with a chaperone, whether they go to the mall for an hour or to the pool. Whenever they go anywhere, when we're in a new city, we always have a chaperone with them and stay with them, because it's like being a family. You're there to guide them along the way.
A simple thing is going to the bathroom. They tell us.
Yeah. So we also share this cost of the trip to parents, and that's facilitated by the students. So the students will invite their parents in, and they show them through the slideshow what everything costs, but along the way we get to share with the parents what the program is all about, and also let them know that people are invested in their children, and we thank them for their support, because without the students there, we don't have our program. And we invite parents in to come and help with the program, to offer anything they would like to. And when we talk about family, it trickles down to not only the students, if their parents are wanting anything or wanting to come volunteer or need any type of assistance, we help out also. Volunteering. So each student is encouraged to volunteer in their school and community. Facilitators participate in assistant students. So we have a picture of one of our students and Miss Betty, and if you wanted to talk to her.
We were invited to attend Orange Shirt, Indigenous Aboriginal Orange Shirt Day, and we had a student that was going to be doing the MC, because we were just coming back from our culture camp on this day, the morning of, and I was there helping, and then the student got sick. So this young lady stepped in, and she did an awesome job being an MC. So it was just like spontaneous. Okay, I'll do it. And then on her MC, she said, Miss Betty asked me to do this.
She did quite well.
Volunteering is huge, and in anywhere, even through our school, our demo of learning, our powwow. We have a powwow once a year, which is coming up May 12th. They're all over the place. They work with first aid. They were trained in first aid, so they help at the powwow as with the first aid people there, and we're all over the place. So we make sure that they're working within our school, but also in the community, being part of that community.
Yes. They also have the tile project, which is a part of Project at Heart. And so these tiles are from the City of Edmonton. They're senior workers that learned about the TRC. And so our students have been given the tiles to create an art piece that will be placed at City Hall. And so they help with that. So that's part of a big piece of community. And we have some drummers that will help out cultural events in the school. They give out free hugs. And they work with TRC, so they understand what TRC is. Some of them will express they know themselves through their family about residential schools. And so the tiles, that's a project that they'll be working on to create something.
And the tiles are made by educating non-Indigenous people who work with the City of Edmonton, all staff of Edmonton, City Hall, have to take Indigenous awareness training about the TRC residential schools, and they all make a little tile piece that they give in memory of a survivor. So this is where the project comes in, where we put our students put the pieces together and they create an art piece that will be going into City Hall, our City Hall in Edmonton.
We also do fundraising with our students, so all fundraising events and activities will be put towards the student expenses. So for instance, when they were purchasing our first meal at our breakfast meal, we told the students that their fundraising, the money they earned paid for that meal, so that they knew that their work towards fundraising was put towards the whole group itself. So they sell chocolates, and there are lots of chocolates. And they have also a popcorn sale throughout the school. So all these things, these activities, they tie into so many more things throughout the year, but to support this coming to Inspire. Expected behavior and participation. We discuss the guidelines and provide to students on expectations and their conduct and behavior. So we do go over this. We constantly talk with them and encourage them about what we expect from them and the type of behavior that we want them to exemplify when they're out of the community. And they do that because they know what is expected of them in a way of honor. Honor their school, honor themselves, honor their families when they're on the trip. An email, whenever we receive any correspondence from Inspire, it's actually shared with the students. So the students, we open up and read the emails to them, and then we also provide packages for them. So any type of information on Inspire, the university schedules, anything like that, they're given business portfolio packages, and they have to keep them on them the whole time. So a lot of them will read through that, and so that they know what is happening when they come here. It's not too much of a surprise, because we feel that if we share the information with them, the more knowledge they have, the more successful they'll be, because it's for them. So this is the We Hold the Future. We do send out a letter of congratulations to the students, and this goes into their portfolio package. So it's their letter, and it just states we're congratulating them and where they'll be attending, and they can keep that for themselves, but also to share it with their families. So research award recipients. Our students, when we do hear about when they are announced, the award recipients, we actually go through every recipient, and the students take turns reading out loud to the group about who the recipients are and what they've contributed. So they're not just showing up and seeing a show, they understand a little bio about the people who are receiving the award. And we always tell them that it could be them one day, and we want them to see themselves there, that anything is possible, that if they do continue, they can be on that stage, being a recipient also. And I know with the Soaring Career and the Youth Empowerment Career Conference, the students have a chance to, they know all the trade people that will be there in the different universities, that they want to go and find out if they want to pursue a career in different areas.
So role models, we talk a lot about role models to our youth, being a role model or who their role models are. I guess when we discuss and use guidelines to provide to our students on the etiquette and importance of being respectful role model, we're not only role modeling for ourselves, we're role modeling for other students that are with us, but also our school and our community and the people, our people as a whole, because, you know, what you do and how you present yourself to others says a lot from where you come from. So, you know, etiquette and conducting, beginning at, we start with the airport, because a lot of our children have never been to an airport. They don't know what security is. They don't know how to get through that. So we walk them through all those things, how to even pack their clothes in a suitcase, what to expect when you're going through security, what kind of liquids you can have, what you can't have. And so we do a lot of, you know, discussions and around that area. And during flight, what happens, how can we check a bag in our luggage, how much is it going to cost, everything. One year when we booked with another airline, we couldn't they couldn't take luggage. We had to pay for it, and so they just took little, you know, carry-ons, and they made it happen. So we were spoiled this year because they got to put a luggage in there. But you know, and even hotel, checking into the hotel. What's the etiquette for going into a hotel? You know, you're not just going to rush in and they're going to give you a room and you're going to go scatter and throw your stuff everywhere. No, there's an etiquette. We do that all prior to, and then we get to the hotel rooms and we again go over constantly about how we want to represent our group and who we are. Our rooms must be cleaned, and it's not just because there's a maid in there that she's going to come in and clean your stuff. No. So we make sure, and even after checking out, when we check in, and then when we check out, we inspect all the rooms. Make sure there's not garbage, there's this or that everywhere. If there is, then they have to come back and clean it up. So we always believe, and I always tell them, always try to leave a place cleaner than what you found it. So that's a huge one. And going to, of course, to daily conferences, when we say this is where we're going to be there at that time. And to follow, whoever, if we choose maybe a session that's not so exciting, you chose that session because you pre-registered for that session. So one way or another, you're going to get something out of that. And not to be running in and out and being disrespectful. So, and of course, there's always the huge one, the award night, right? The gala. I mean, last night was spectacular. But then again, the getting them ready for that. You know, a lot of our children come from not, you know, knowing how to dress it for an evening of, you know, a gala as such that we have with Indspire. So we prepare them for that too. We even take them shopping and we help them and dress and whatever, you know. So we do everything that we can to prepare them for that night. Some having high anxiety to being in crowds. So how do you calm a child down, right? So youth especially, you know, especially some of our youth, they just feel like they're not good enough. So we walk them through those paces. We walk them through those areas. And it's not just, you know, us, me and Rhonda, others that work with us too that are phenomenal in believing in, you know, getting our children ready, our youth ready for all that we do. So yeah, it's very exciting.
So we talk about introducing ourselves to others. So we practice within the leadership group. When they're in the group, we get them to go out and model that. So they practice introducing themselves, the handshake and eye contact. And then they'll also, so we talk about how important it is that when you meet people, it tells a lot about yourself when you're able to make that eye contact, introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from. And we also encourage them during that time, whenever we go to sessions, if there's an elder that has done a session, that we always make sure they do the protocol to shake the hand with the elder and thank them. And in the past that we've had our students probably, we've noticed, probably been told by the elder that he could tell that they were taught very well because they were the only group that had went up to show their respect and their proper, well, what we believe that was protocol, to give them a handshake, thank them, and a small gift. So we talk about that prior to leaving to Inspire, because we know that each time during the events they always do have an elder and that opens up and represents throughout the time that we are at the gathering and the award show. As Miss Betty talked about earlier, we do talk about packing. We do a demo on what to pack, and they know how to get through a 4-day trip with a carry-on. And so I think they've done pretty well, especially if they put in their clothing, their dress-up clothes for Inspire. They've done quite well. And we talk about hygiene items, and we also talk about what's allowed on the plane, what's not. And the great thing is, as a group, we could check in with, I could go up to the counter and check in myself, but we allow ourselves enough time to arrive at the airport that each student does it themselves. They go up to the kiosk, they use their reference code, and they learn what it is to check themselves in, as well as go up to the front and put their bags in, how to put a baggage tag on. They've had difficulty pulling off that tag, but they learned. And then they also learned, okay, what's next? We go to security, and about how to conduct themselves in that lineup. It's not a time to be fooling around. It's a serious time. And yeah, they do quite well. And so we also role play going through security and showing them. And we talk about plane etiquette. When you're on the plane, we talk about even not drinking so much prior to, talking loud on the plane, just little things that you wouldn't think about, your ears being plugged. Some of them are first-time flyers, and so that we're there to encourage them. And I like to believe that 26 students traveling across the country, they show such respect, and it's just an honor to be with them, because you could tell that everything they've learned throughout the year, it shows during the whole time of the trip and onward. So we already talked about the respect for the rooms, and so we go over that real quick about the garbage.
Sure. Yeah.
Towels in the place them in the bathtub. Simple things like this that we've learned over time, that if a student hasn't stayed in a hotel, that they wouldn't know these things that could help them succeed in having a clean room. So sponsorship for Inspire. The information on Inspire and Soaring, as I mentioned before, the program and their vision, their mission is shared with the students, and how their sponsors allow our students to share in their wisdom and mission. The opportunity is awarded through Inspire, Soaring, Indigenous Youth Empowerment Gathering. Self-empowerment is offered through themselves and their actions. So we always encourage the students. They had a chance to go onto the stage and take a picture with the CEO, Roberta Jameson, and the students talked about how they always wanted to be a recipient and be on stage, and they said they didn't think it would take that long. So some of them attended for about 3 years and others for 2 years, so it was a proud moment for them to give them that encouragement of a baby step towards being on that stage, and in the future being a recipient.
Each of our students send thank you letters to the sponsors who sponsored them to come to Inspire. These letters must be handwritten. We believe that by handwriting, it's meaningful and it's coming from the heart, and that when they are write in an envelope addressed to the sponsor and put a stamp on it and put it in the mail, I think that's more showing how much they appreciate the sponsorship that they received by going to Inspire. And who doesn't love to receive a handwritten letter?
Now, I want to say Gitchimigwech for sharing everything that you're doing to support your students. The great work of the leadership program, I think it's amazing, and I'd love to learn so much more. And I'm so happy we've had the opportunity to have the leadership program submitted to successful practices. So I look forward to getting through that process and being able to share the amazing things that you're doing with the students in Edmonton. I truly appreciate everything that you're doing, and how much love and support and guidance you're offering these students, and the amazing opportunities and all of the effort you put into preparing them. You know, you really give them a good understanding of what to expect when they're engaging with Inspire and with the Soaring Indigenous Youth Empowerment event. And I think it's fantastic. And I'm so happy that you've taken the time to share this with us, and that we will be able to share it with other educators through the K-12 institutes. So Gitchimigwech, and I really do appreciate everything you've shared.